Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today we want to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers just completing mandatory minicamp. And it seems like everything went well. I mean, no injuries was reported. The guys seem like they put in some good work. And Mr. Rodgers finally made his appearance as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So everything is looking pretty well as the guys get that last month of vacation time. Um, before they have to report to Latrobe and the real work really begins. So today I kind of want to just talk about a few players that I think that the Steelers are really going to have to lean on um, heavily this year to have a successful year. And if these guys do what I think they're capable of doing, the Pittsburgh Steelers should have a decent season this year. So with that said, let's kind of get on into this. So one of the big questions that everybody is asking, and everybody has a different opinion, and just depends on where you stand as far as with Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers. Do Rodgers still have it? And to me, I believe that he does. I still think he can make plays. Excuse me. I still think he can make plays with his arm. He showed at minicamp the quick release. He still has that. I mean, the biggest thing I would think right now is the Pittsburgh Steelers have to protect him. I mean, obviously, 41 years old, he's not going to be as mobile as he used to be. That's just a natural thing. But I think within the pocket, he can still move. He has great pockets presence. So, that's where he's going to do his damage. Yeah, he's not going to give you those 20-yard, 30-yard scramble runs and all that type stuff. He's not going to do that. But what he's going to do within the pocket is going to make up for a lot of that. And so, with that said, I have no problem with it. I think Rodgers can still do it. Um, I think he's going to play at a high level. Like I say, the biggest thing is going to be is can the Pittsburgh Steelers in the offensive line protect him? That's going to be the biggest thing that as far as if Rodgers is going to make it or he's not going to make it. I think it's going to be a lot to do with his protection. But so the answer to that is yes, I still think that he can do it. So, Pittsburgh Steelers went out and acquired DK Metcalf this offseason. So what do you expect from him? What I expect from DK is probably 95 catches, probably 1100 yards and 7 to 8 touchdowns. That's what I kind of expect out of him. So basically a solid a solid year. He's going to be that down the field threat. Him and Rogers actually has worked out together a little bit in this off season, and I'm quite sure they're going to get back together. Actually, Rogers said that he was going to bring the guys out to Malibu and work on some things and get their timing down. So I know DK will be part of that. So I expect him to have a decent year. I mean, I don't see a 1,500-yard type year, but he about 1,100 yards, 7 to 8 touchdowns, probably about 95 catches or so. And I expect him to be strong this year. So I have no problem with DK. I think he'll handle his business and he'll do what he has to do. Another question. So coming out of this mini camp, Calvin Austin III was actually named the number 2 receiver. I don't really think the Pittsburgh Steelers want him to play that position per se. I still think he's a number 3, but I think he's a solid number 3. And also, I believe he's a decent punt returner. But I think um, one of the things I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will do this summer is give him a new contract. And the reason I say that is a he's not going to be super expensive, and as an organization, you have to reward your guys, especially guys that you draft that come in, do what they're supposed to do, work hard, improve every year, and I think that's what Austin has done. I mean, he lost his rookie season with the foot injury, but ever since then, he's done everything that the Steelers asked him to do. He's a solid professional. He's getting better. Like I said, he was named the number 2 receiver, which again, I don't really believe the Steelers want him to play that position. I think he's more better suited as a number 3. But I could see the Steelers giving him a contract. I think the kid has earned it, and I would love to see that happen. Roman Wilson, will he step up this year? Good question. I mean, this is something that this is on Roman Wilson. I mean, whatever went on last year was last year. He's been looking good in camp. So I just think he just need to improve on that, and then going into training camp, really, really, um, you know, show everybody that hey, I'm the guy that when I was drafted that everybody thought I would be, and he just got to keep working. He has to keep working because he has a quarterback that now that's going to find him if he's open and he's running his routes the way he should and know what he's doing. He'll get out there and play. So I would say, is he going to step up? I you know I would say yes. I'm not really thinking he's gonna have a huge year, but I think he will make some plays, and he'll get back on the right track of his career and get things moving forward. Will the running game be better? It better be. It that it better be better. Um, I like Jalen Warren. I think eventually um, Johnson should take over as the starting running back because I kind of like Warren more as that number 2 than really the lead back. Um, my only issue I have with Warren is he has to hold on to the football. He gets kind of loose with that ball, and as you seen, the Steelers have no tolerance about that. And usually when he fumbles, he's sitting on the sideline, so he just got to work on that. And I don't really think he's a fumbler. I just think sometimes the effort he gives so much effort that he forgets to hold on to the ball. As far as Johnson, I think he seems like he fits the offense. He's a better uh, gap runner than what Najee was. The biggest thing with Johnson is going to be to determine how quick he get on the field is blocking assignments. I mean, especially with a guy like Rodgers back there, got to be able to block. Because I can tell you now, the first time he missed a block and Roger get lit up or sacked, he's going to the bench. So and that's usually rookie running backs' biggest hurdle that they have to get over, and that's blocking. So if he can handle that and shows that he's a capable blocker, I can see him taking over halfway through the season. But the Pittsburgh Steelers running game must be better than what it was last year. Will Howard, I'm going to say this should be a red shirt year for Will Howard. I do not want to see Will Howard playing other than maybe the preseason games. I don't want to see him taking any snaps this year. I want him to sit back and learn. He's sitting behind a Hall of Fame quarterback. Um, take notes and watch how he prepare. And Rodgers said that he's going to help him, but you know how it gets, especially when the regular season, you know, get going. Things get kind of busy, but I do not want to see Will Howard take a snap. If we're seeing Will Howard taking snaps this year, then something went totally wrong. Um, all I would say, he's a 6th round pick for a reason. I know there's a lot of hype around him, and I'm not here to say that he can't develop into a starting quarterback, but I think he's a long way away. But he has the tools to, maybe be something more than a backup quarterback. But I think this year I want to see him take a red shirt year, and I do not want to see Will Howard this year. Pat Fryermuth, I think he needs to step up. Um, and I'm going to say it. I think he need to get tougher. It was some catches last year that he made that, hey man, you got to get that first down. Like you got safeties and corners stopping you. You're not gaining another inch. So to me, I want to see Pat Fryermuth get much tougher. Make those tough catches. Those, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have a lot of confidence in him. In if it's a clutch situation because he's failed so much, not making the catch or not getting that extra inch. I ain't talking an extra yard. I'm talking about an extra inch. So I want to see a tougher Pat Fire move this year, and really earn that contract that he has, the Steelers has given him. So I want to see him step up, and I want to see him be much tougher. Yeah, the O line is the key. The O line is definitely the key. Excuse me. Yeah, the O line is definitely the key this year. Those guys are gonna have to step up. They're gonna have to protect their quarterback. They're gonna have to make some holes in the running game. Um, you got Broderick Jones moving to his natural spot, left tackle. So we have to see these guys really step up, and like I say, the O line is the key. I mean, if we can't run the ball, they can't protect Rodgers. It's going to be a long year. So these guys got they have a lot of pressure on them. But I'm going to keep faith in them and think, and I think they can do it. And they're going into their a lot of these guys going into their second year, second, third year. So it's time to show what you can do. The one good thing I will say, those guys came in shape. A lot of them lost weight and or gained some weight, but really came in shape. So we'll see what happens. But the O line is definitely the key to this whole engine this year. Secondary needs to be elite. I believe so. I want to see the Fitzpatrick that was a All Pro. I mean, we need that guy. We need Joey Porter to step his game up another notch. Um, be more of a elite corner. Get rid of these silly penalties of grabbing and holding and all that type stuff. Trust your technique. Trust your size that you have, and it's time to move it to another level. And if these guys do that, man, it's going to be all good because most quarterbacks is not going to have a lot of time to sit back there and hold the ball all day anyway. And if these guys can play at an elite level in the secondary, it's going to be a great thing for this defense. So the secondary definitely needs to step it up, and they need to play at an elite level. Um, Peyton Wilson, will he get the green dot? I'm really not so sure. But if he's ready to handle it, I think I would love to see that because I really think that that needs to be taken away from Patrick Queen, and not to say that Patrick Queen can't handle it, but I just think sometimes some players just that's just not their thing, and they just want to get out there and play free and not really worry about that. So I would say if Peyton Wilson can handle it, definitely I can see him being the green dot guy this year. I expect him to have a huge year this year because a lot of people don't really realize it. Inside linebacker is really tough on a young player because you're so hype and you want to go 100,000 miles per hour, and you have to read those keys. They get manipulated a lot with these offenses, and probably getting false reads, and it's just a tough position as a rookie to really come in and master right away. I mean, some guys can do it, but that's very that's slim. You don't really see that too much. So it usually take a guy 2 years, sometimes even three, to really get going. So I think Peyton Wilson will play much faster this year. He'll show. I think he'll be able to show that side to side, sideline to sideline speed. Him and Queen. The defensive line has been ramped up, and they got some big bodies in front of these guys. So hopefully, that these guys will get a little bit more protection and won't have offensive linemen getting to them, and they can use their speed and run down plays. So the green dot, I could say yes. I could see Wilson, getting that if he's ready. And coming back to Joey Porter, and I kind of spoke on it before about with the offensive line. I mean, with the secondary needing to be um, elite. It's Porter. I mean, he's going. I mean, really, I'm not going to put it all on him, but it's time for him to make that jump to and I won't even say a elite corner. I don't know if that's in him right now, but definitely a guy that's been played better than what he has. And like I said, a lot of it is just trust your technique, trust your size, trust your speed, and stop all the holding and grabbing and all that type stuff. So, with that said, it's all on Mr. Porter, and he really needs this because he has a payday coming up here shortly. So, he's going to really have to, show what he can do and see if the Steelers want to give him another contract. Hi Smith, I think he just got to stay healthy. Um, I just think he got to stay healthy. I would love to get 17, 16, 15 games out of him, and he's been having a lot of soft tissue issues, so it's time to you know have a healthy year. And you know I love how he sets the edge. He sets the edge great. But to me, it's just all about health with him. Queen, this is second year in the black and gold. So now he should have an even better understanding of the defense. And like I said with Wilson, um, you got some big bodies in front of you now. So hopefully he can play clean and use that speed and be that side to side and just that demon out there is just making tackle, making plays. Um, Hopefully they can take the green dot away from him. And like I say, I don't think that I mean it's not a situation that he can't handle it, but I think he'll just play better without that responsibility. So hopefully that can happen. And I think he's going to show everybody that the money that he got, he was worth. Because you have a lot of people that was basically kind of saying that he was a bust, which I don't really think he was. But it's time to show up. So um, I want to see a better year from him. And coming to the end, just our young edge guys, Herbert, Sawyer, just those guys just keep developing. Um, watch. Obviously, you're gonna watch TJ and watch Highsmith, and just for those guys, just keep learning and keep moving in a good direction, and giving the Steelers depth, and giving those guys Watt and Highsmith, some rest, and keeping that play elevated, and I think those guys will be fine. So really, with that, that's really about it. Um, so the Steelers are basically off for about another month. They'll get back together at Latrobe by the end of July. So with that said, that's really about it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the page. We're trying to grow this channel, and trying to make it something that as a Steeler fan, something that you want to listen to and enjoy. So with that said, take care, and we will talk to you later.